is 11, 22, and 33. And the angels who rebelled against the Most High haven't been able to duplicate it. It represents the 11 ribs, 22 bones in the skull, and the 33 vertebrae of mankind. To this day, these are the most significant numbers for any occult group in existence. After the Most High had had enough of their rebellion and having given them plenty of time to repent for doing so, and this period of time that he gave them to repent could have been tens, hundreds, or even thousands of years, folks. He gave them a long time to repent. During this time, when they should have been thinking about repenting, is when they were using their time to crossbreed animals and try to create their own human master race. And after this time of rebellion, he finally had enough and he destroyed it. And he utterly destroyed their homes and civilizations with hailstones of fire. Some say there was evidence that they were also destroyed with a flood, with water, so with both fire and water. These planets were destroyed. Those who rebelled were cast alive into imprisonment or forced to make homes in the inside hollow cavities of their respective planets. As part of their judgment, they lost their angelic looks and became ugly, grotesque-looking beings. And this is the Enki faction of aliens, Satan's faction, the Enki. And these are the ugly, grotesque beings. These are the ones that the Greys and all those different races similar to the Greys and the lizards, called the Sleestacks, and the dragons. And this is the Enki faction. And that was part of their judgment, that they lost their angelic looks. Halael himself was spared from imprisonment and became a fugitive from the judgment of Yahweh. Many who helped plan and implement his coup attempt were also allowed to roam free. Without a place to live other than the hollows of the destroyed planets, they would have to pick up the pieces of what was left and survive on their own. Years would pass, and we know that what he did was he is the prince of the power of the air. He's the master of the first and second heavens. It's where he lives, his cohabitation. And so they found other planets to live on, other star systems to live on. And we know today that his home, his main base, is located within the Orion constellation. And that's why it just gags me so much to hear people being deceived and accepting prophecies or what they think are prophecies, or channeling spirits and saying that heaven is going to come down from Orion, or that, heaven has anything to do with the Orion constellation, because that is where Satan's home is. Satan's home is in the Orion constellation, not the Lord's. So it's not the Most High God's heaven coming down from Orion. They're talking about Satan's home, the New Jerusalem, Planet X, Nibiru. It comes from and through Orion. And so that's what it's coming from. And another telltale signs most people today are just not even hearing from the Lord. They're channeling spirits that are not of the Lord. Years would pass, hundreds, perhaps even thousands or millions, and the Most High would recreate Earth. Those who had led the rebellion against Satan were with the Lord, the Most High, when he looked over Earth and would pronounce it, that it would be recreated. But this time, with man made in his own image. So all of those who had stood their ground against Satan's first rebellion attempt and wanting to be worshipped as God and fought against him, were standing with the Lord, were with him, when he announced that he was going to recreate Earth. It would not be another angelic creation, home for his angelic beings, but a home for mankind, a new creation by Yahweh, a being created in his own image. Halael heard of his plans, and upon hearing that this new creation would be created in the image of Yahweh, was overcome with rage and jealousy. He planned to destroy what Yahweh was going to create and once again attempt to usurp his own authority over it. So he watched as Yahweh created a new heaven and a new earth for mankind and began to make his plans. Yahweh knew when he recreated the earth that Halael would once again attempt to take over his creation and be worshipped as God. In fact, he had spared him for that reason. In Isaiah 45:7, we read, I form the light, and I create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Mankind, like the angelic civilization before them, would be created with free will. Yahweh would use Satan to test them. Who would the people of Earth choose to serve? Yahweh or Satan? It would become a war between the Creator and the created. And this time Haliel would have to work indirectly behind the scenes until his appointed time when he would be allowed to appear on earth and take physical control of it. For 3.5 years, Haliel will be allowed to rule over mankind at the end of earth's appointed time, before Yahweh will come once again to destroy in judgment his creation and all those who joined in Haliel's rebellion against him. So all those who choose to worship Haliel and join this coming New World Order system that he's going to establish on this earth will end up coming up against and face the Lord's judgment, because they are in rebellion against him, and anyone who joins this system will be in rebellion against him. Mankind grew and populated the earth, and as they did, many of the elect, the loyal angels from the previous civilization, chose and sought the Most High to be born as humans and fulfill roles he would appoint them to accomplish as humans on earth. He allowed many of them, if not all of them. I don't know what the number is. I don't know if he only allowed a certain amount or if he allowed every single one of them. But he allowed them to return throughout the ages as part of mankind. He knew who they were and referred to them as the elect or chosen vessels of honor. And now you know why and how Yahweh could have had names written in the Lamb's Book of Life before the foundation of this world, because he knew those who were his and who he would return to earth to be born of a fleshly body and live as mankind to fulfill his purposes on earth within this new creation. These are the elect, those who had previously praised, glorified, and honored him despite Satan's attempt to deceive them and rule over them. The elect of Yahweh's is not about a particular race of people on earth, but those from the ancient past who he would specifically send to earth to do his will throughout the ages of the new earth. They were those he would send to earth to help fulfill his plan of bringing his redemption into a world to those who would become under the curse of death and Haliel's indirect and even direct rule. Yes, the elect, the angels, who would overcome Haliel's first rebellion, would be sent to operate in human flesh to be born as humans throughout the history of mankind. Would they know who they were? Would they remember their past? If they did, Haliel, now known as the adversary or Satan, was sure to have theology and the churches reject them. They would remain a secret of the ages, that just as Yahweh could send his angels to earth to work directly for him, so could Satan. Satan would send those loyal to him in his rebellion against the Most High to earth born as humans to accomplish his own plans on earth. Thus we would have both vessels of honor and dishonor sent to earth to be born as humans to fulfill specific purposes throughout time. The war was on. And this is a concept once understood. It has been buried during the church age. Knowledge once taken for granted by our Hebrew forefathers. They understood much more than we do now. And we've had much knowledge hidden from us. The early church persecutions were instigated and designed by Lucifer himself. Not only was he angry about who Yahushua really was, he had to eliminate the knowledge of Jesus as the Messiah and the knowledge contained by the Israelites and Hebrew people so that it didn't carry through the generations. Lucifer has been and always will be inferior to the Most High. A created being can never be greater than the Creator. Yet he has been working for the past several thousand years for the prophesied time when he will be allowed to come to earth and rule for 42 months. Lucifer is serving the Most High's plans to test mankind. Will mankind serve and follow the Most High, or choose to follow the lies and deceptions of Lucifer? In these last days, Satan will be allowed to rise on earth once again. The Bible refers to him as the Antichrist. He will arrive and have his associate, the Bible refers to as the false prophet, announce that he is God and demand the world worship him, deceiving many on the earth once again. There will be a Luciferian oath of loyalty required to be able to participate in this new world order, and those who refuse to worship his image will be killed. He has been busy planning and preparing over the centuries how he will come to power. As the prince of the power of the air, he has been ruling within the first and second heavens, as he and his millions of fallen angels, now known as aliens, what we refer to as aliens, have been watching and conspiring how to take over the world. Can our government stop